And welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Earlier this week, Comic Con was going on and they dropped a whole bunch of trailers. And there were two of them that just struck me like I had to talk about it. And the two that I'm going to be talking about is Wonder Woman and the Justice League trailer. Now, before I go on with this, I wish that after seeing these, I wish the Batman versus Superman movie was like these trailers. So, if you haven't seen them, be sure to go check them out. I'm probably gonna jump around from scene to scene because I'm really gonna be talking about the parts that I really found interesting or things that just kind of got me curious. So let's go ahead and start with the Wonder Woman trailer. Now, I'm not a huge DC fan. I remember Wonder Woman from the Linda Carter TV show, and so I knew that she was an Amazonian, very powerful warrior, and she basically had godlike powers, because she was created from Greek gods. Okay, so that's about as much as I knew. I knew about the Lasso of Truth and her band. I can't even remember the name right now. But she was a very cool character. But I just remember her from the Linda Carter days. I really didn't read the comics or even watch the animated series. But let's go ahead and get straight into this. Now, one of my favorite parts of Batman versus Superman was Batman and Wonder Woman. And in this beginning scene, Wonder Woman finds Chris Pine, and he is in the Amazonian island. I can't remember the name, but they don't have men there. Okay, they know what men are, but for them in real life, they really don't see them. Actually, they don't see them at all. And this is the first time that Wonder Woman sees Chris Pine, and I thought this was really funny the way in which they had the dialogue. How it was just like, I'm a man. I mean, it's just like you've never seen a man before, and you're like, yeah, I'm a man. And so it's funny right at the beginning. It's just humorous. I think they really focus on the dialogue a lot here. Now I'm gonna skip that. It's kind of like their first intro, and you kind of like come into her world at that point. And let me go back here. And after this scene, you get a little bit of Diana, or Princess Diana, her background. And here on this scene, there's going to be three thrones, and they're pretty much going to be taken over by the elders. And I'm not sure if that's her mom. I'm thinking it might be. So that was cool. And then it looks like Chris Pine is going to be taking her to the real world. And here it looks like that she's going to be finding an enemies here, or enemies. They obviously know each other here, and I love that part right there with the sword. That looks really cool. And I'm gonna skip a little bit more ahead because I like this scene right here where they're just talking, and then since they've she's never seen a man before, Chris Pine asks if who's her father, and she's never had a father, and she tells him that her father is Zeus, and that she's created from Zeus. And I just love the dialogue. I do like Chris Pine, especially when I saw him on the Star Trek reboot. He just has a sense of humor that's really funny, and it works so well here in this particular movie because he has that snarky type of humor. And from everything that I've seen from Batman versus Superman, Wonder Woman, she has a sense of humor, but she's more of a serious character. She's a warrior. She's an Amazonian warrior. And man, from then on, this thing just looks awesome. I mean, there's just some action. I was thinking about 300 right there, but it just looks awesome. And here, you see the shield, but just when you think like this might be a love interest type movie, and it still might be her love interest, but she lets him know that she makes his own decision. She makes her own decision. And as you're seeing bits of her, her armory that she carries, now here you get to see what Wonder Woman is all about. She is just a badass. I mean, she's just throwing people down. I mean, I can't wait to see this. I've never thought of Wonder Woman in this way. Whenever you watch a Linda Carter one, and basically any of the old comic book movies or TV shows back in the 70s and 80s, it was really campy. Starting with Batman, and then heading over to Spider-Man and Wonder Woman, and then the horrible Captain America movie and so forth. You get the point. But wow, this just looks awesome. Yeah, she could take down pretty much anybody around her. She's not to be messed with. And I love the way the director, I can't remember her name, I think her name is Patty, that she does this because a lot of these trailers, they like to show action, but here not only does it show action, but it shows a lot about the character, and I love that. I mean, I'm extremely excited to see this movie. I really liked her in Batman vs Superman, but I felt like she didn't get to spend enough time. And with this particular trailer, wow, actually amazed. And I love this last part when she's like asking her, she was introducing herself. She's the secretary, and then she's like, Wonder Woman's asking, "What's a secretary?" And then she says, basically she does whatever he tells him to, and then she says, "Well, that's where I'm from. That sounds like slavery." Wow, and that's awesome. That's a really awesome way to close it. And so, yeah, can't wait for Wonder Woman to come out. I think it comes out in spring of next year. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks awesome. I'm like super excited to see it, and which leads me to the second trailer. And I was pleasantly surprised with both of them actually. And the second trailer is Justice League. I'm gonna come out right and say it. These two trailers, they just really made me extremely excited for what DC is bringing. I was very disappointed with Batman vs Superman, and if you saw the link I left earlier, I probably left the link somewhere up there where I talk about my impressions on Batman vs Superman. I actually left the review, so if you want to see that, you can see that. I'll leave it in the description below as well. But I was disappointed with that movie, mainly because it had so much potential, and I think the people surrounding the movie, and I don't blame it all on Zack Snyder, because obviously there's the companies involved, Warner Brothers and DC, they have to make money, okay? So that was what they thought was the best way to make it, and I think that messed it up, okay? But as I stated earlier, my two favorite parts of that movie were actually Batman and Wonder Woman. And in this case, you already saw what my thoughts on the Wonder Woman trailer. In this case, it starts off, with Batman or Bruce Wayne, and I'm liking that. I'm liking it. I really like Ben Affleck. And here you see, oh man, you see Aquaman. Man, Momoa, he just looks, yeah, he looks serious. That is not someone you want to mess with. The king of Atlantis. This guy, yeah, he's going to take people down. And what I like about this particular trailer, with the Justice League trailer, the same with the Wonder Woman trailer, is there is humor, okay? But not humor as in ha 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 comedic humor, but like intelligent humor, witty humor. And I really like that. And from here, this looks like the box, and that it comes from Darkseid's planet, or there's basically they're gonna look for these boxes, and they have a lot of power. And here, Bruce Wayne is basically recruiting the Justice League. Okay, at least the members that we see, and just that intro alone with him and Aquaman, I was already in. And then it showed a shot of Wonder Woman, and I like how there's just the humor throughout, but it's just really funny humor. I mean, a really snarky humor, witty humor. That's my favorite type of humor. And here, Bruce Wayne is here in Barry Allen's place, and I'd have to say this one, just to me, it's my favorite part of this. The Aquaman scene, that was, I almost thought that was my favorite, but after watching the trailer a few more times, this was my favorite. I mean, I don't really watch too much of the actual TV shows, but I really do enjoy some of what I saw with the Flash TV series. They did a really good job. And here I was kind of, I would say, worried about the trailer. I mean, basically the Flash for the actual movie, because some of the stuff that you saw Batman versus Superman. But here I'm all in. And this part was cool because it just goes with the dialogue, how when Wonder Woman, Batman and Wonder Woman, basically they're going to be teaming up to recruit these. Bruce Wayne's going to be actually going out there, but Wonder Woman's going to be there to help recruit all of them. I mean, both of them are recruiting this team. And here, where Wonder Woman was asking, did you get Aquaman to join? And Batman or Bruce Wayne said more or less, it's more or less, and and when he throws him up against the wall, it's like more or less, and so that was funny, and it just looks menacing. Yeah, yeah, really funny. And if this is the type of dialogue and humor that we are, basically going to be getting in both of these movies, I can't wait. I love this. I'm gonna try to get to that scene with Barry Allen, and this was so sweet right here, man. Yeah, just that scene alone, automatically, immediately, I was definitely thinking about the Quicksilver scene in the original X-Men. I mean, Days of Future Past. That was what it reminded me of. But here, man, it made it its own. And I just love how it showed that Barry Allen, once he saw the Batarang, he knew who he was. And then secondly, I just like how he, talks to him like, it's an oversimplification that he's more than just speed. And, if you know Flash, you'll know that he has a lot of powers, and he has a lot that goes with him. And there's a whole world that surrounds him, in his own world. And that is awesome. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this. So, and, they didn't really show much of a, cyborg here, just really glimpses, and then also the suit of Flash. I mean, at this point, I'm not really feeling too much of the suit of either Cyborg or the Flash. I guess I'm gonna just have to get used to the way these suits are, because I know they are trying to modernize it. And if I'm not mistaken, the actual Cyborg, I heard that this was all CG. Yeah, it looks cool, but I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to get used to it. But overall, I mean, and this is just the initial trailer. I really, really am more excited than I've ever been for this whole DC universe, and I really think that both of these trailers, if it's anything like these trailers, the actual movie is going to be awesome. I mean, DC's coming out with guns blazing, so we'll see what happens with the movie The Suicide Squad, because that looks like that's the first one that's going to take more of a humorous approach, but with a lot of fun and action mixed together. And these two look to follow the same thing. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, I love these two trailers. Wonder Woman, she looks awesome. I mean, she's going to throw down. I can't wait to see that. And then with the Justice League, I think it comes out November 2017. I am super hyped to see this. I know Superman's going to be in it, and more than likely Green Lantern's going to be there. And in terms of the villain, I think it's going to be very similar to the whole Marvel Avengers approach, where, it's going to be Thanos in the end. In this case, it's going to be Darkseid in the end. But in between that, he's not going to show up right away, just like they did in the Avengers. Like in the Avengers, Thanos, you saw bits and pieces of him. He would send other people to do his deed. And then in the end, with the Infinity Wars, that's when you're actually going to meet Thanos. And in this case, with Justice League, I think the very first enemy that they're going to meet is going to be Steppenwolf. And, if you watch the actual extended cut of Batman vs. Superman, or you could even look up that clip where Jesse Eisenberg or meets Steppenwolf, okay, for the first time, or Lex Luthor, meets Steppenwolf for the first time, and he looked pretty awesome in there. So that's probably what's going to happen. I'm super excited to see these movies. So what are your thoughts about these two trailers? I mean, did it get you pumped up for it? Were you disappointed? Did it actually make Batman versus Superman better? Leave your comments and ideas below. And as always, I am on Snapchat at Geek Outdoors. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com. And I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.